Well, our next guest knows more about this critical process than probably anyone. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy joins us now. Mr. Speaker, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Are you surprised that they got this done in one round?
No, congratulations first to Speaker Johnson. Well done. But I think having such a big election, and a real congratulations to President Trump. I was with him last night. He made the difference here. He united a conference that is tough to keep together. Now, we won across the country, but Congress, the majority, shrunk a little. And it's even going to get smaller by 2 more as they go to the administration. So nobody can have a disagreement if we want to get this agenda through. And the American people have spoke loud and clear. And I think President Trump is the unifier. Members have got to stop focusing on themselves and look to the policy. And actually, when we had our challenges in the last Congress, once we got through that speaker vote, those first 9 months were our most productive months. We passed most of the most significant bills, from border security, keeping parents in charge of the education system, doing our energy policy. That's really, you're coming off a win now. Unify around that and start moving policy for the American first, what the president needs to sign.
Now, you guys famously passed H.R. 2 on immigration, right, in the last Congress. Then it ran right into that brick wall in Chuck Schumer's Senate. It's not going to be Chuck Schumer's Senate anymore in this new year and this new Congress. Republicans will have the majority in each chamber, Mr. Speaker. So how does that change things in terms of what can realistically get done? Although there is still that filibuster in the Senate, I know that there are some ways around that on reconciliation. What do you expect to see in terms of the timeline here?
Well, the first thing you got to realize, in modern history, this is the first time the majority in the Senate is larger than the majority in the House. Normally, the House majorities are much bigger than the Senate. So the Senate has much more power. And because you have the House and Senate and presidency, the reconciliation is very important with that tax policy, with immigration and others. So don't have a few members fighting. You've got to find that what unifies people is keeping the promise. If you want to keep this majority, if you want to govern in the right direction, focus on the policy, which they did yesterday, focusing with the president, bringing them together. I think early on you're going to see bills come through dealing with the border. The president is going to be better prepared than he was the first time he became president. You're going to see from the very first day he's taking actions to make sure bringing back the failures of Joe Biden, making America stronger. But Congress is going to have to be the driver that moves it to the Senate. And I think you're going to see the Senate very united to be able to move this legislation. The first thing they have to do, though, is confirm that cabinet. And the president's better prepared. He has the names there. I think you're going to see all of them get confirmed to move forward. The only challenge they really have is they didn't finish the job from the last Congress. You got to, March 14th? You got to deal with the last year funding, which is unfortunate for President Trump. But let's get that done so we also could be focusing on what the president said in his campaign we promised we would do.
Well, you mentioned new Senate majority for the Republicans in the upper chamber, new leadership as well for Senate Republicans. So a lot to keep in mind and keep an eye on here in the new year. Kevin McCarthy, it's very good to see you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.